Hello and welcome to the webinar. I'm so excited to share this information with you. Today we're going to be talking about the thing that I discovered on my journey from sickness to wellness, as I title it, The One Thing, the Natural Way to Heal. Have you ever looked in your adult life, looked in the mirror and thought, wow, I thought things would be different. I thought things would be better by now. Do I really have to live in constant pain? Well, if you have, you're not alone. But what if I told you there's one thing, just one thing, that can make a shift so that you realize this is the missing link for you to heal and start living rather than just existing day to day. For years, I've been looking for a way to heal my body. I'd always spent tens of thousands of dollars on numerous treatments, supplements, and health gurus. And probably like you, I felt like I was just pouring money down the drain. And then one day, I stumbled into the missing link, the one thing that changes everything. If you want to heal permanently and naturally so you never have to visit a doctor again, then watch this webinar. I'm about to disclose to you the one thing, the natural healing secret that has been forgotten. This will be the most important webinar you will ever watch. If you want to live young, long, and do things you can't do now, then watch this webinar as I unveil the lost secret to healing. This is not for everybody. If you truly believe that taking meds are going to heal you, then don't watch this. If you think that your body's in need of a chemical to heal, then this is probably not the place for you. Now, don't misunderstand me. At times, you do and may need medicines, especially in emergency situations to relieve a nasty pain. Then medicines are fantastic. Like when my wife fell off the balcony and broke 2 legs, 2 ankles, and 3 vertebrae in her back. The healing process and methods that I'm about to unveil has helped myself and thousands of other people to heal from illnesses and diseases. And I believe it can help you too. But I know for some who aren't willing to follow our simple natural laws to healing, this is not the program for you. Further, we don't accept everyone into our program who applies for this amazing healing process. I apologize, but we have less than 12 spots we can take each month. Second, we have to know you are committed to the process and you are capable of being a good fit for this program. At the end of this webinar, I will give you the online link to arrange for a free 20-minute consultation and fill out an application. Once that is submitted, our staff will set up a time for you to meet us either on the phone or in person at our office. And if you are accepted into our program, you can begin the process for getting your miracle. Maybe that's like me, who in my 30s and 40s was sick, then not sick, then sick again. And today, I feel more like 19 than 59. I am now able to referee 55 games of basketball in 3 weeks, running 15 to 20 miles a night, and still have enough energy to go skiing with my kids on Sunday. You see, knowledge equals the power to heal. And I literally took up kind of like Waldo and didn't walk, but went around the world gathering information. I read a lot of books and met a lot of great healers, and eventually I found what I refer to as the one thing, the natural way to heal. We're going to talk today, and the one thing you need to take notes about is the 4 natural laws of healing. By the time we're through, you will know what these 4 natural laws are and how critical they are to healing permanently, long term, so that you can live young again. But first, the disclaimer. This following program is designed for informational purposes only. It is not intended as advice for self-diagnosis or as a prescription for self-treatment. It is hoped that the information contained herein will stimulate thought and encourage the adoption of a healthy lifestyle. If you are in need of medical attention, seek the services of a healthcare professional. So who am I? Well, I should have died by now. My name is DeHaas, and I was published in a book last year, and the story was how I cheated death by healing from numerous illnesses and diseases, including cancer, without radiation, chemotherapy, and doctors. Some of the issues I have suffered from, and this is not totally inclusive, but the big ones: allergies, asthma so severe I was hoping for my next breath, adrenal fatigue, joint pain, muscle tears, shin splints, plantar fasciitis, mumps, measles, chickenpox, acne, psoriasis, brain fog, bloating, gas, constipation, and the big one everyone's afraid of, cancer. So the one thing that I probably can provide to you, that would be empathy. Versus it's all in your head, or we can't find anything wrong with you. Versus what is the root cause of illness and disease? Well, in my estimation, it's simply this. It's inflammation caused by toxicity. Think about it. We start out life like this. Vibrant, energy, we can do whatever we want to do. And then over time, we begin to feel ill. Maybe it begins in our gut, or maybe it's in our head, and we're sick, not sick, or maybe we've got pains, all manner of pains. And at first it's a cane, and then it's a walker, and then pretty soon it's a wheelchair, and then finally we're just out of energy. And some people will say, oh, well, you're just aging. No, I would disagree with you. This is caused by toxicity. Think about it. When we start life as a young child, we're not full of toxins. You know, we have all this great potential and we can do all the things we want to do. It's kind of like when we build a brand new house. Everything is pristine, there's no toxicity, everything's in its right place. And then over time, we begin to fill up the house with things that probably aren't serving the house as higher good. And we begin storing these things. So think of that kind of like toxins. And it starts out innocently enough, just like when we're having those pizzas and Coke parties and having some sodas or maybe a beer and a pizza, or worse yet, we're spraying our lawns and our trees with chemicals and pesticides, or maybe even you live in the country where the farmers are spraying their fields with pesticides and chemicals, or you're in the big city where you're going to work every day, breathing in all of this harmful air that's full of toxicity. And worse yet, look what else we've done to our planet. We have spilled thousands of gallons of oil into our oceans, and this has wreaked havoc on our fish and our water, and pretty soon our house begins to fill with toxicity, and it gets worse and worse. And even worse yet, we're probably drinking or bathing in water that's full of fluorine and chlorine, which kills off the natural friendly microorganisms in our body so necessary for proper immunity. And then we're getting our dairy products and our beef products from cows that are fed chemicals in their food, and our soils that our plants are being grown in are devoid of nutrition because of the erosion of our soils. And then, of course, we've been feeding our cows and our milk full of antibiotics and hormones that congest the liver and can cause health problems. And we're told, oh, we'll eat chicken. Chicken is great, nice and lean for you. Well, the chickens have been cooped up, fed a chemical mash, they never see the light of day, and their meat and eggs are devoid of nutrients, and they're toxic. I can tell the difference between eating a healthy chicken that's grass-fed versus a cooped-up chicken. And it really day makes me sick if I eat this type of a chicken because I have detoxified my body. Or worse yet, maybe you've been eating out of boxes like this, and these foods are full of chemical to keep the shelf life as long as possible. Well, these processed foods clog the colon and liver and congest the blood. Or worse yet, you've been eating at fast food restaurants for a time, and now your body's going to create fermentation and parasites, candida albicans, and worse yet, getting leaky gut become from the genetically modified foods that we're eating. So after a while, eating these processed foods can create not only bad fat that gets stored in the body, but also toxic buildup, yeast, a slower metabolism, clogged arteries, thinner stomach wall due to acidity, and high blood pressure. And then we take other things we're told that will not increase our fat in our body, but these foods like the MSG and free glutamates enhance the flavor. So literally, it causes you to be addicted to some of these foods and eat more. Take aspartame and Nutriseed and some of these things. It has been shown that there's studies done that it actually can increase you to becoming overweight. And further, a study from a doctor in Washington University says that brain cancer rates in the U.S. increased 10% shortly after Nutriseed was approved. Now, is that conclusive? Well, we can't say that, but it is highly suspicious. And so what happens to our house? Our bodies have become more and more toxic until now we can't store it inside, and now we've got some serious issues. So think of it like your toxic bucket has taken the next drop, and now you've erupted into some kind of a sickness. Maybe it's hives or rashes or psoriasis shown here, or worse yet, maybe you think you have the beer belly. Well, we'll show you in a moment this is really not a beer belly, but a further toxic body. It's kind of like, you don't know what lies beneath. Kind of like this iceberg, right? The iceberg is twice as large underneath. We really can't see what's going on. The sky looks great above, but below there's all manner of illness and pain. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, where is the cause of these illnesses? It's kind of like looking at a house. Let's suppose for a moment that my house has got a crack in the wall. And I can hire a contractor to come out and simply putty this up and cover it up and make it look like new, and okay, great, it looks great. We look great on the surface. But the real question we have to ask is, why did the wall crack? So isn't the question to ask is, what's your foundation like? Well, I'm going to show you in a minute, your foundation is your second brain. So let's talk about some simple anatomy. This is the anatomy that you should have learned in high school biology, but never did. We're going to talk about the 4 natural laws to healing, and I want you to write this down. You have to fix the cells. The cells are your engine, just like your car engine. So what happens over time? We have to repair the cells, and so we have to literally send good parts to the mechanic so that he can fix our engines, just like we fix our regular engines. And maybe you have your car diagnosed and you find out, well, gee, it needs a new alternator or some part. And he says, not a problem. We can order that from the parts house. I'll call him up. I'll get the parts man to deliver to me the brand new parts. And the parts man gets on the road, and all of a sudden, he discovers the roads are blocked. There's maybe trees over power lines and over cars and crashes and boulders in the traffic way and simply a lot of car accidents. And pretty soon, our roads are blocked. Well, let's look at our pathway to deliver our new parts. Our pathway begins in the mouth, goes into the esophagus, into the stomach, into the duodenum, and the small intestine. Think about it. You've got 30 feet of intestinal tract to take care of. And it's just not a pipe. It's, as you're going to see in a moment, it's much more than that. You have the surface area in here the size of a basketball court. And in that basketball court, in your gut, you have the villi, or what I refer to as the mucosal lining, as shag carpet. Now, this villi is our delicate shag carpet that absorbs vitamins and minerals and nutrients into the body. In other words, those are the parts we need to get to the cells to heal the cells. Well, when we have the sticky foods like the pizzas and the breads and the sugars and the milk and the gluten and the chemicals from processed food, it starts to line our intestinal walls and eventually it mats down our carpet, creating more of a tile floor effect. And that sticky matter becomes putrefied and toxic and stops the villi from absorbing into vitamins and nutrients into our body. So how much do you absorb to a tile floor? Well, not much. So what do we have to do? Well, we're going to have to steam clean the gut. And that's where colon hydrotherapy comes in. You see, you have a second brain, and your gut has a mind of its own. If you look very carefully at how our body is wired, everything is connected. You're looking here at your second brain, and it's the most amazing piece of anatomy in your body, but we don't think much about it. If you look at the connectivity, if you've got issues, for example, on your left ear, okay, then you've got probably some pain up here in the left side of your colon in this area. If you've got pain in your neck, you've probably got some toxicity or buildup of old fecal matter here. If it's your left shoulder, it's here. Left upper lung, if you're having trouble breathing, asthma, you've got toxicity in your colon. If you've got issues with your heart, you've got issues here. In your solar plexus, you've got issues here. Left pleura, here. Left breast, left rib cage, left arm, hand, spleen. I'll tell you a short story. As I mentioned, I referee, and one day I woke up and I had what I thought was a groin pull. Well, it hurt so bad to get in and out of bed. I had to lift my leg. To roll over, it hurt so bad. I had to lift my leg just to simply roll over in bed. Well, the left groin connects right down here. And so I decided to come and do a colonic. And I did a colonic. I got enough water into my colon to remove this toxicity that was here that was actually causing the problem. 85% of my pain was gone in one colonic. And 2 days later, I was refereeing actually 9 basketball games that weekend. And prior to that, prior to the colonic, I didn't think I was going to be able to go and referee because I could not run and it hurt to walk. So it makes a huge difference if we can get the toxicity out of our colon. Let's look at the transverse colon connections there. This is your brain area. 90% of your serotonin for the mood gets made here. If you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you have headaches, migraines, schizophrenia, bipolar, it has everything to do with your transverse colon. Remember that. Transverse colon equals your happy meter or your sad meter, if you will. Let's clean this out. Let's heal this up. On the right side, we have our right ear, right side of the neck, right shoulder, right upper lung, middle lung, lower lung, right pleura, right breast, right ribs, right head, arm, liver, gallbladder. Liver, gallbladder's right here. And if you see here, the small intestine dumps into here, and this area here is where all the parasites hang. And we can go from being 3.5 inches in diameter to as big as 16 inches in diameter. And this area can get very, very toxic. Here's your right leg, right kidney, so forth. There's the low back. The list goes on, and it's all connected. Let's talk about some of the reports. There's frightening new reports that show how this toxic mess stored from years inside your colon leaks out and poisons your cells and other organs. And shocking new findings from medical researchers and gastroenterologists reveal that even if you have a bowel movement every day, if you are still having gas, bloating, and other digestive problems, then you most likely have hidden constipation syndrome. The recent study finds that more than half of the patients, 62%, have colons that are plugged up with layers of filthy, decayed, crustal fecal matter, even though over 80% had daily bowel movements without straining. And get this, studies show that laxatives don't work for most people, especially seniors. Breakthrough study results from the Department of Organ Surgery and Gastrological Clinic in Elsinore, Denmark, reveal that millions of people unknowingly have these large fecal reservoirs which back up your entire colon, anus, and rectum with solid feces. This causes bloating, abdominal pressure, diarrhea, and gastric discomfort. These layers are dried up, dirty fecal matter, and the real cause for your digestive nightmares. No synthetic laxatives or enema can get this toxic, rotting mess out of you. So stay with me here for more information about where we're going with this. Colon autopsies show it. Colon studies prove it. Layers and layers of decayed fecal matter packed into your colon walls cause hidden constipation, gas, bloating, fatigue, abdominal pain, and even worse, problems you didn't even know were related. Frightening reports show how this toxic mess, stored for years inside your colon, leaks out and poisons your cells and other organs. I have an urgent warning for you. If you are experiencing any of the following: bowel movements less than 2 times per day, embarrassing gas or cramping, straining or having time to read while sitting on the toilet, relying on store-bought laxatives or stool softeners, poop that is hard, ball-shaped, stringy, covered in mucus, or is yellowish or greenish, having to wipe more than once after going to the bathroom, a protruding stomach that feels heavy all the time, retaining water and bloating, a bowel that feels irritated all the time, or feeling sick to your stomach after eating, feeling tired upon waking in the morning. If you are suffering from any of these symptoms, then it's vital that you clean your colon out now. Colon doctors and researchers now reveal that even if you have regular daily bowel movements, you most likely have decades worth, often 10 to 12 pounds of putrid, rotted waste matter built up on the inside of your colon, causing digestive problems. This toxic mess can seriously impact your health down the road. If you're thinking that's not me, I have a bowel movement every day, then you will be shocked to know that a recent study revealed that out of 251 men and women with various digestive issues ranging in age from 26 to 89, a whopping 62% of patients in the study had built up dirty fecal reservoirs in their right-sided colon and their rectums. And the real shocker is 80% of these patients had defecated normally once every day without straining. Look at these x-rays of slides. These are x-rays of people just like you and I. They're not defecating properly, and they're full of all kinds of distorted, twisted colons full of mass. It can get worse. If you've ever had an appendicitis or if you had it taken out, well, it's because the right side of your colon, as I mentioned earlier, the small intestine dumps in here, and that will cause the appendicitis to become infected because of all that toxicity there. So researchers were so stunned at their findings, they actually called this condition a new name: fully developed hidden constipation syndrome. Doctor notes state that when examining patients in the study, they could feel a fecal mass when examining patients, especially on the right side. This mass was verified using several medical techniques, including abdominal ultrasound, digital rectal exams, biochemical tests, and anorectoscopy without cleansing, so they would really see what was built up inside patient colons. To make doubly sure, doctors also used barium enemas to identify polyps or other pathology that could be mistaken as lumped fecal matter. It's hard to shock medical research, but these scientists were speechless. And look at here. Because of the toxicity in foods, the cecum here is swollen, severely swollen. This cecum is an area where parasites tend to dwell. A toxic cecum can also lead to appendicitis. Here, the sigmoid colon that goes down the rectum is toxic and enlarged. This muscle that's supposed to be making a bowel movement happen is not moving any of the digested food out. And a spastic colon here is shrunken down, and it's really stopping the waste from flowing through properly. And so we get these small and large pockets that can form in the intestinal walls that catch and hold waste material. Over time, it putrefies and causes an infection that you might not know you have. In fact, they say 100% of us over the age of 40 have these pockets. They call it diverticulosis or diverticuli. The real danger of hidden constipation syndrome, doctors warn, is that people are having regular daily bowel movements, neither patients nor their physicians ever suspect that symptoms like bloating, tenderness, diarrhea, abdominal pain, or smelling gas are related. Hidden constipation syndrome can go undetected for years. It's no wonder they say death begins in the colon. Here, we're showing you a prolapse transverse colon filled with diverticuli. And alarming reports like these have convinced many doctors without a doubt that detoxifying and purifying your colon is more important than ever. Autopsy reports show that the longer the waste in your colon, the more toxic it becomes. These poisonous toxins leak out of your colon through the tiny blood vessels and poison the rest of your organs. Professor Arnold Erhardt of Berlin, the father of a colon autopsy research in colon health, first warned the world about the dangers of this toxic buildup in your colon in his famous book, The Definitive Cure of Chronic Constipation. Remember, the average person is packing 15 pounds of poop. So here's how the toxins take over. Believe it or not, your toilet is probably cleaner than your colon right now. If there's one thing to gain from our time together today, it's this. You will never be truly healthy. You will never have regular bowel movements, and you will never have a flat stomach again until you clean out your colon. Your colon's main job is to squeeze water and nutrients out of your food as it is digested to keep your body hydrated and provide nourishment. When you don't drink enough water, the food inside your colon dries out too much and gets squeezed into tiny balls of fecal matter. Your colon packs it down so hard that these tiny balls become too hard to pass and you become constipated. And when you go, it's like trying to pass boulders, right? That's when the real trouble starts because your colon becomes overloaded. That rotting fecal matter has to go somewhere. Bad things start to happen in your body, such as, like a baking pan. The food literally gets baked on. Could you imagine trying to pass this on? It's hard enough to wash it out, but this is what happens in your colon. Your bloodstream picks up toxins and poisons and dumps them onto other eliminated organs, such as your kidneys, skin, and lungs, and they work overtime trying to get rid of them. Your sweat and sebaceous glands overload, and so you perspire more. Your lungs take out some of the poison too, which gives you bad breath. Your stomach sticks out and you can't fit into your pants. Your body stores excessive toxins in your fat cells and joints. Gradually, your tissues, glands, and organs suffer the consequences, impacting your overall health and well-being. Food goes through your large intestines and then leaves your small intestines as a semi-liquid mixture of undigested food, fiber, enzymes, and things your body can't use, which turn into waste. Did you know it takes about 6 to 8 hours, actually sometimes a lot longer, to digest a meal? If you are constipated then, the meal you eat today pushes out the meal you ate several days ago. Normal peristalsis happens when you have enough thick, voluminous chyme to trigger your colon muscles to push the waste materials along towards your rectum and out your anus. And guess what makes your, what they call chyme, build enough volume to do this? Well, fiber does, for one. Fiber bulks up your chyme, giving it volume it needs to push the on button of peristalsis and begin to move the food through and the waste out. Well, we also have to have a muscle to move this food along, and that muscle, because of the toxicity, can't move well. And if you have fear, anger, worry, depression, or anxiety, you stuff these emotions in your gut and really stop the whole digestive process. And you literally get your gut in knots. Have you ever heard of the saying gut feeling? You see, we stuff our worries and our fears and anxiety in our gut. So some people call it the second brain, but more on that in a moment. Here's your autonomic nervous system. Be careful what your stuffy stuff, as my wife, Winnie DeHaas, says, because everything is connected. As you see here, it's connected to the eyes and the back and the heart and the spleen and the kidneys. But over time, because you stuff that stuffy stuff, guess what happens to your gut? It gets twisted and distorted, just like this. So when you eat foods that lack fiber over weeks, years, and even decades, mix that with some milk and some pasty stuff, your volume of chyme drops dramatically. There's less and less volume in your intestines to stimulate the muscles through your natural peristalsis motion that moves out the poop at a normal rate, now slows down to a crawl. Now, working at a slow crawl, your colon struggles daily to keep on doing its job. It moves your chyme through super slowly and only gets a little fecal matter out of your body at a time. That's because the longer fecal matter stays in your colon, the more dried out and rock hard your poop gets. It's like a big truck getting stuck in the mud. It just sits there, unable to move backwards or forwards. By the time you strain and struggle and finally do have a bowel movement, you're actually evacuating a meal you ate that is really old, even weeks or months old. Even worse, the fecal rocks make your colon walls rigid, make your stomach stick out, and stop your nutrients from being absorbed. The longer they stay in there, the more of this toxic mess leaks out into the rest of the body, making you feel weak, sluggish, and exhausted every morning. When your colon gets this backed up state, adding an apple or bowl of bran cereal to your diet is not going to do the job. To detoxify and purify your colon and your whole body, after years of neglect, you need to bring in the big guns, the 10-day cleanse. This is what a healthy colon should look like, but Dr. Chanita Holmes is going to tell you.
Yes, the colon, here's the cecum. It is shaped like a cone. Appendix is coming off down here. So what we're seeing is air pockets trapped within fecal material. So in the other colon that I showed you that was clean, you just saw fluid density. You didn't see any of this air and stool. So if you want to correlate it to the KUB, see the air pockets, little tiny air pockets. You see little air pockets here. That's what you're seeing on the CAT scan in the ascending colon here. So that's how you know that there's a lot of fecal material, because the air is trapped in the feces.
So you have a bird's eye view here when you see people from the inside out.
Yes.
And it becomes pretty plain when they have fecal impaction and they're walking around like that.
Yes.
So what would you say to people, doctors even I've heard say, there's no such thing as impacted colon. People are not walking around full of stool.
This is a typical appearance of a person. You can grab anyone off the street and take a picture, and you're going to see the colon. If it has not been cleaned out, everybody looks like this. Every single case, unless they've been cleaned out for some reason, that I see, the patients look just like this.
And earlier we were talking about, you see people who have really, really distended bellies, and you said that they're just full. I mean, so does that person's colon, does it look healthy from an x-ray?
No, it doesn't look healthy on the x-ray. In fact, let me just go back to this other film here. In fact, what we see here is this person's pretty thin, but what we see is the sides of the abdomen actually bulge out on either side here, bulge out. You can see the colon just falling over and spilling out, and it's just pretty impressive. And I'm just going through the images here. You can see the nice descending colon here, and it just you see it spilling out, and people end up with hernias daily. Bowel hernias sticking through the abdominal wall because there's so much pressure in the abdomen. It just pokes right through the muscles in your abdomen, and the bowel comes right out and right outside. We see hernias a lot. That's another problem with an impacted bowel and no bowel carrier or herniations.
So when you're walking down the street to the grocery store or whatever you're doing in your daily life, and you see, let's say it's a man, it could very well be a woman, doesn't matter the age, but with that very large stomach, and sometimes even where you can tell that they're thin sort of elsewhere, it seems to be very localized. What runs through your mind?
Well, when I see that, I know they have bowel issues, because the abdomen and everything is stretched, and it has nowhere to go but out. And if we look at CAT scan on these people, not only do we see the bowel all over the place, we see a lot of fat in what we call the peritoneal space, and all that is just a space between the bowel. This person has some fat in it. It's normal, you should have some. But you know that the person just has it all over the abdomen.
So that distension that you see that people have, it's alarming.
It's alarming, yeah.
They should be worried.
They say beer belly, it's not a beer belly. The colon is backed up. They do have a lot of fat in there, but it's the colon.
As she said, it is the colon. And this is everyone, unless you've done some colonics. So remember, you've got nerve endings to your large and small intestine. It's all connected. I think everyone should have a chart in their home. It's quite interesting how people come in with whether it's a shoulder pain or neck pain, and I pointed out to them, where that's connected. And by the time they get, depending on how many colonics they do, if they do our 10-day, we have great success. And it's amazing how when they get to those days, because we only can clean out so much each day, that pain goes away. So remember, inside tract, mucosal lining, and the importance of a healthy villi is critical to your long-term health. The only way you can get parts, vitamins and mineral nutrition to the cell to heal the cell, to fix your engine of your body, is to absorb it through that villi into the bloodstream. And then we got to clean the bloodstream so it has a clear path there, and we do that by cleaning the liver. There is only one way to rebuild the muscle to create proper peristalsis, to have proper bowel movements, and that's called exercise and hydration. So we've literally got to exercise the colon. Colon hydrotherapy, when water is going into your colon, it's stimulating that colon to trigger to push back. And at first, like anytime you first do a push-up, that muscle's very weak. And if you've had excess fecal matter in that colon for a long time, guess what? The muscle's not moving. It's going to take many sessions to get that muscle back into proper shape. Further, we have to send in Mr. Hydration to clean out the old stuff and let it dissolve. You have pockets of diverticuli. The only way you're going to get that out is to hydrate it and let it dissolve out. Furthermore, the other important thing you need to realize is you have all these neurons in your gut. You have more there than your entire spinal column. Neurons are the communication force in your body. If the gut is in bad shape, communication is limited and altered. I equate this much like a cell phone. If you ever tried to call someone a cell phone and ever had it drop off, you know that, okay, there was something maybe blocking the path. Or imagine for a moment if I just went out and I covered up the cell phone towers with poop, right? Okay, now there would be no pathway. We know when we go in the mountains and there's not direct line of sight, that we have no communication. Well, the same thing happens in your gut. Brain health begins in the gut. The power of the gut microbes to heal and protect your brain for life are in the gut as well. So we have the neurons, which are connecting and firing off those nerves, and we have to clean out that poop so it does that. And then we got to get the good bugs and bad bugs balanced back into your body. And they have found that the rising rates of Alzheimer's disease, mood disorders, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, autism, other conditions are linked to an imbalance of gut microbes. So, imbalanced microbiome equals disrupted gastrointestinal system, equals incorrect levels of neurotransmitters, the brain messengers. So if you're having brain fog, or you're having mood swings, you're having depression, you're having poor thinking and altered mood, you've got to address the microbiome. It's all connected. If you have a balanced microbiome, then you're going to have a healthy gastrointestinal system, correct levels of neurotransmitter, clear thinking, calm, confident, energetic mood. So we have now to look at the liver. If your bowel is toxic, your liver is certainly probably toxic. Your liver is an amazing organ. If you have toxins from pesticides, processed foods, heavy metals, etc., the liver produces bile to wrap itself around foreign invaders to help eliminate them from your system. However, with so much toxicity moving through this filter, the liver becomes cirrhotic and enlarged. It's like your furnace filter. If you never change the furnace filter or the oil filter in your car, pretty soon there's no way it's cleaning the air or the oil in your car. You have to clean out, in the case of those filters, you change them out. We can't change out our liver, but we can cleanse it. And on the 10-day whole body deep tissue cleanse, we actually do the process where we clean out the liver. And the cleaner you get the liver, the quicker and easier that blood gets clean. When the blood gets clean, now the parts that we got to get to the cells gets there quicker, faster, and easier. And I'm going to show you in a moment someone who benefited so greatly from this. It had an amazing miracle. Let's think about gallstones. If you've ever had a gallstone, you know they hurt. Well, what's happened is your liver's been very toxic. But your gallbladder plays an important role. If you've had it out, well, we have to talk about what we can do to help you long term, because the gallbladder collects bile that the liver is secreting all day long. And then when you eat fat, like ice cream or steak or butter, then the gallbladder squeezes the bile in to help break down food. So if you don't have it there anymore, you've got a bigger problem long term. We got to talk about how we do that. Plus, bile dripping into the intestinal tract all day long is not good for the microbiome long term. So, when the bowel is toxic, the kidneys also become toxic because the liver says, you know, I've done the best I can. Let's just ship some of these things I can't handle off to the kidney, and now you've got a kidney stone. So, Kidney stones are literally toxicity built up in your body and flushed through your urinary tract. And as you may have experienced at one time or another, very, very painful. When people come through our 10-day process, they see these come out. It's pretty amazing. So, when the bowel is clean, the blood that flows in and out to the organs, tissues, and cells will be clean. When the bowel is dirty and toxic, the blood will transport toxins from it to all parts of the body. And then we have the amazing lymphatic system. You have 45 pints of lymph fluid in your body versus only 12 pints of blood. Our lymphatic system must always be pumping in order to avoid buildup of toxicity and stagnation. Once that bowel is clean, the lymph system is able to work properly and keep the fluid pumping. If you know anybody's had lymphoma cancer or they've had a lymph node they've had taken out because it was cancer, it's because that lymphatic system got stagnant. Now it did its job, but if you have a toxic bowel, guess what? It can't take those toxins from the recesses of your body, from your toes and your calves and wherever, and take it out and dump it because it's blocked. So we got to unblock that, and we do that on a 10-day cleanse. And then we have our friends, the parasites. Do parasites rule the world according to this article in the Discover magazine? Well, we can tell you that definitely changes your thinking, and it definitely changes how you feel. These are actual parasites that have came out of people during our 10-day cleanse, and you'll see these come out of you when you come and do our process. Here's another parasite here. And these guys can be in your body for years and years. They're this big, they've been in it for a long, long time. And they don't want to come out because you've been feeding them and nourishing them with food. They bury themselves in the mucosal lining. And if you've got all that toxic mass in there, they're happy to stay there. And they affect your moods. They affect your thinking. So we got to get these guys out of there. That's not spaghetti funds. That is parasites. And we all get infected. If you're eating sushi, you're infected. If you've eaten pork, you're infected. Have you walked barefoot? Have you been in a public restroom? Do you have pets? Well, you've got parasites. The key thing is management. Getting these big guys out so they're not affecting you long term. Here's some yeast candida that came out. This particular slide is an amazing story of a lady that came to us, spent over $200 to $500 a week on supplements for 4 years, about $70,000 we estimated over that time to get rid of parasites. She came through our 10-day cleanse, and this is some of the parasites that she got out. And she got out buckets and buckets and buckets. So yes, herbs and supplements can help, but you've got to apply all the tools. And so we applied all the tools to her, and we're going to talk about what those tools are in a moment. And of course, these came out. These things can grow quite large, and they can cause not only irritability, but headaches and pain and gas and bloating, and even vertigo, just to name a few. Deep tissue cleansing can help remove these parasites that have made your colon their home. They don't want to leave. You've been feeding them, and they've been thriving. Taking supplements will help, but to fully evict them from your colon, you must do a deep tissue cleanse. And if you do that, the miracle is your body can repair itself so quickly. Your brain rebuilds itself in 1 year, the DNA every 2 months, stomach lining, 5 days, your stomach lining. Your skin rebuilds in 1 year. Your blood rebuilds every 4 months. Your liver rebuilds itself in 6 weeks. Your bones build a whole new skeleton in 3 months. So, how may we restore the toxicity body back to homeostasis? That one thing that I mentioned earlier, the one thing is whole body deep tissue cleansing, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The 4 natural laws of healing. To repair the cells we've been talking about, that engine, we got to clean the small intestine, clean the colon, clean the blood, feed the body perfect nutrients. We keep your cells in perfect health. Every cell in your body is served by the blood. It nourishes the cell, replaces the worn out parts, and carries the waste products away. So if you don't put the right material in the blood, the cells can't be nourished. The cells that suffer first are the cells of the eliminative organs. Those are the lungs, the kidney, the liver, and the bowels. It does not matter what you have. If you want to heal, you must first address the 4 basic laws. If you had a clean colon, you wouldn't have your dis-ease, VE irons. And now I'm going to read to you something that I think is absolutely ties this all in. Back in Jesus' day, there was this group of people called the Essenes. And when the Dead Sea Scrolls were found back in the 1940s, they found this. The Essene Gospel of Peace. And I quote, "Think not that is sufficient, that the angel of water embrace you outwards only. I tell you truly, the uncleanliness within is greater by much than the uncleanliness without. And he who cleanses himself without, but within remains unclean, is like the tombs that outward are painted fair, but are within full of all manner of horrible uncleanliness and abominations. So I tell you truly, suffer the angel of water to baptize you also within, that you may become free from all your past fears. Notice the words fears in here. And that within likewise you may become as pure as rivers foam, sporting in the sunlight. Seek therefore a large trailing gourd, having the stalk the length of a man. Take out its inwards and fill it with water from the river which the sun has warmed. Hang it upon the branch of a tree, and kneel upon the ground before the angel of water, and suffer the end of the stalk of the trailing gourd to enter your hinder parts, that the water may flow through all your bowels. You will free your body from every uncleanliness and dis-ease. As the water runs out of your body, it will carry away from within it all the unclean and all the abominations and uncleanness which defile the temple of your body, even all the fears. Fears is mentioned again. False emotions appearing real. False emotions appearing real. Even all the fears which abode in your body, tormenting you with all manner of pains. So I tell you truly, baptism with water frees you from all of these. Renew your baptism with water on every day of your fast, till the day when you see that the water which flows out of you is as pure as the river's foam. Then betake your body to the coursing river, and there in the arms of the angel of water render thanks to the living God, that he who has freed you from your fears, false emotions appearing real, and this holy baptism by the angel of water is rebirth unto the new life, for your eyes shall henceforth see, and your ears shall hear. Fear no more, therefore, after your baptism, that the angels of air and water may eternally abide in you and serve you evermore. So the first thing that we've got to apply, the tools that we use, is colon hydrotherapy. We use the Libby Open system. It's a gravity flow system. It's very comfortable and private. It's effective and relaxing. And what's amazing about this process, guys, you're going to have 10 to 30 bowel movements per session. So we're going to hydrate and dissolve all that old stuff. And as you can see here, it's very private. You're in the comfort of your own room, and you'll be able to actually see what comes out of you, what you're releasing. Let's talk now about a very important health guru, as we call him back in the day, Dr. Bernard Jensen. So Dr. Bernard Jensen was a pioneer in the field of natural health and a big pioneer in the field of colon hydrotherapy. And of all the therapies he used, colon cleansing that brought the greatest success, he said. In the 50 years I've spent helping people to overcome illness, disability, and dis-ease, it became crystal clear that poor bowel management lay at the root of most people's health problems. In treating over 300,000 patients, it is the bowel that invariably has to be cared for first before any effective healing can take place. Knowing the ways of keeping the bowel healthy and in good shape is the best way I know to keep away the grip of disease and sickness. And then there was Dr. Harvey Kellogg. Dr. Harvey Kellogg at the turn of the century was a gastroenterologist and an advocate of vegetarianism and the creator of cornflakes breakfast cereal. He was the leader of the establishment of the American Medical Missionary College. He said, of the 20,000 operations I have personally performed, I have never found a single normal colon. In his Battle Creek Clinic, where he practiced holistic medicine, Dr. Kellogg treated 40,000 patients with gastrointestinal disease using detoxification and colon cleansing. And when he did that, when he applied colonics and all these other tools, all but a handful, according to him, avoided surgery through cleansing. Is it doctor recommended? Well, yes, it is. More and more doctors are becoming aware of the importance of colon hydrotherapy. Here's Dr. Jeanette Beatty. Colon hydrotherapy was a part of my studies in college. Now I don't own the physical facilities for doing it in my office, but I regularly refer patients to a competent nearby colon hydrotherapist. My experience with this treatment is totally positive. Dr. Brody, I do recommend that most of my cancer patients take colon hydrotherapy or colonic irrigations because they often improve by having such treatment. Liver cancer in particular shows benefits from colon hydrotherapy, but any internal tumors show effectual change too. Colon hydrotherapy is the best cleansing and detoxifier for the gastrointestinal tract that anybody would want. I do promote its use. Dr. Douglas Brody, MD. Without any reservation, I declare that my wish is to see it become an established procedure for many kinds of gastrointestinal problems. If medical centers, hospitals, and clinics installed colon hydrotherapy departments, they would find such departments just as efficacious for patients as their present treatment areas, which are devoted to physiotherapy. Such is my belief, and I do endorse this therapeutic program according to Dr. Leonard Smith. The next tool we use, remember we talked about the amazing lymphatic system, is we use the whole body vibration machine to help move the lymphatic system. 10 minutes on this machine equals a 1-hour workout at the gym, but most importantly is detoxifying that 45 pints of lymph fluid. It's going to strengthen and tone your muscles as well. It's going to help repair soft tissues. It helps with skeletal alignment. It helps balance and improves your posture. So we want to have you on this machine every day as well. The far infrared BioMat, another amazing technology. It uses amethyst crystals for healing. It improves circulation and cardiovascular, enhances the immune system, and it produces negative ion. So this far infrared technology is absolutely amazing. If you want to boost your immune system, we want to make sure that your body temperature is at the proper temperature. Because see, if you've got cold sensitivity in your hands and feet, that means your circulation system is poor. And you'll begin to get sick. Usually when the temperature drops, usually in our area, that's around October, November. And because now once you've got your cold, 50% of your enzymes quit functioning. Enzymes are what help protect basically the bad guys from coming into the body. So we've got to wake those enzymes up. You can see here, prior to using the BioMat, poor circulation, 2 weeks later, better. On the right there, you can see that in just 30 minutes, quite a change in the blood cells. So now it's carrying more oxygen thanks to the far infrared of the BioMat. So what's amazing, between the amethyst and tourmaline stone and the far infrared, they found in studies that that energy that's coming off that into your body is changing your body chemistry, which is a good thing. So we're going to boost the immune system. We're going to increase and your ability to stave off these bugs by getting the body warmer. So remember how parts get to the new cell? Well, negative ions. Negative ions open up the final door, if you will, to the cells. We get those nutrients in, that's the good parts. We get the old parts out, and that door's going to open. Negative ions help open up those cell wall channels. If you've experienced how the air gets cleaned up after it rains, that's just not a washing effect. It's a lot of negative ions in the air there. If you've been to a rainforest, you know that the air is much cleaner and pure because it's cleaning the air with negative ions. So one of the other tools that's very, very important when you're going through our whole body 10-day deep tissue detox and cleanse is the techniques to release emotional blockades. So we're going to teach you to use psychological acupressure technique that we routinely use here and most highly recommend to optimize your emotional health. Although it is often overlooked, emotional health is absolutely essential to your physical health and healing. No matter how devoted you are to proper diet and lifestyle, you will not achieve your body's ideal healing and preventative powers if emotional barriers stand in your way. You see, emotions actually manifest into the physical. So we always look at what's happening physically, but I can tell you that after thousands of people have went through our 10-day process, most people are so thankful that they were able to emotionally release some of these toxins, these emotional toxins that they were carrying around all their life. So we're going to help you remove negative emotions, reduce food cravings, reduce or eliminate pain, and implement positive goals. The other tool we use is the harmonic resonance therapy. What this does is using sound to change the chemistry in your cells. The vibrations from the sounds realign your energy and promote healing and wellness, and assist in grounding and rebalance your optimizing health. Another tool that we like to use is a far infrared sauna. Now, far infrared, we've already talked about, helps kill cancer cells. Harvard has proven that at 140 degrees Fahrenheit, cancer cells die. So we want to expel, though, the toxicity out of our skin. You see, we eliminate through our breath, right? Through our lungs, through our bowels, through urination, and through our skin. So if you've got acne or psoriasis or hives, okay, your body's very, very toxic. So we want to help it along by using a far infrared sauna. You're going to burn about 350 calories in a half hour. That's not so important as it is of killing off not only cancer cells, but just getting that toxin out of your skin. Another great tool that I found in my journey, walking like Waldo, was the on-demand pulse frequency machine. This is using energy to realign the electrical currents in your body. So think of it, your body as this big electrical grid, all this energy going through your cells, and cellular energy gets blocked. Well, we use this machine in many different ways, but it helps remove the blockages in your cells. We can also use it to actually kill the parasites and yeast. In fact, we'll literally test you to see what parasites. We've had amazing success with people in testing for what particular parasites were contributing to their Lyme-type symptoms in their body. We can also use it to heal tissue and bone. Amazing success in healing bone quickly and easily, as my wife, I told you earlier, broke a lot of bones a few years back. And we really were able to speed up that healing process very quickly. I originally got interested in this device because of the ability to help it knock out candida yeast for myself. And so that's what originally triggered my interest in this machine, but we found it to be very, very influential in helping heal all manner of issues in the body. So we tie all these things together. And then we also have to address not only the emotional, but the spiritual as well. And where are we stuffing all this stuff? This anxiety, the stress, the post-traumatic stuff, the grief, the shame. You know, we bring this, as my wife calls it, as I mentioned earlier, the stuffy stuff. We've got to let this stuff go. And so we're really big proponents of coaching you through this process. As one person said who got on the client bed, she goes, oh my gosh, does this help you release emotions? Well, of course it does. So we have to emotionally address these issues as well. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to give you those techniques to release the blockage. So we have basically all these different healing modalities. And it's like making a pie, okay? We can't just make a piece of the pie and use that. I mean, you'll see great benefits, colonics, don't get me wrong. But when we apply all of these modalities, from the far-infrared BioMat therapy, the whole body lymph detox, the harmonic resonance therapy, the parasite cleanse, kidney cleanse, liver cleanse, using the on-demand, the healing codes we teach you, the quantum K, the EFT, the energy releasing, the visualization and mental mapping. We show you how to change the energy in your cells quickly and easily. We do a heavy metals detox. We have a supplements package. You're taking supplements to help stir things up, get things moving out. We've got a process that you go through called the forgiveness journey. We have mirror work. We're helping you with your thoughts. We have a parasite zapper we want you to use. We're serving you organic soups and juices. We teach you how to muscle test yourself. We want you to walk out of here when you're done, to be empowered, like a mini naturopath, if you will, being able to go home and discern for yourself how to heal your body. And of course, we use the far infrared sauna. We're going to give you enzymes and probiotics, and we teach you essential oil therapy. In other words, it's a full pie or a full stew, okay? We can't just take a piece out and throw it out and say, okay, just use these parts. And many of you have probably done this. I've done all these things, David. I've done this, and then they did this, and then they did that. But they didn't do it all together. And the problem is that all of these things work harmoniously together. You would never go and tell Grandma to change the way she makes her stew and say, Grandma, I don't like it with carrots. So Grandma takes out the carrots. And hey, Grandma, I don't like it with salt. Grandma takes out the salt. Hey, would you please take out the onions? So she takes out the onions. And pretty soon, there's not much left, right? And so we really won't have a good tasting stew. So that's why we have all of these pieces. Removing any one part of the healing process will inhibit complete balanced result. And so over the years, we know that this process is powerful and it's results oriented. And so we came up with a 10-day cleanse. Why 10 days, people ask? Well, it takes 10 days to get all the way around your colon to begin with. And on this process, we're going to serve you the organic soups and juices. You're going to be on a soft food diet, so don't worry, you're not going to be fasting. Products are included. Daily education, daily methods for healing. We're going to teach you a lot of techniques, and you've got a great support staff here. I think one of the best things we have going for us is our amazing staff. These are people like myself who have healed themselves from illnesses. One of the people that comes in and volunteers here is a person who has healed herself from pancreatic cancer some 20 years ago. So we have an amazing, knowledgeable staff that is here. Here's just a few words from our clients. I feel better physically and spiritually. I not only feel better physically, but I was surprised and grateful for the emotional and spiritual cleanse. My joints don't ache. My brain fog is gone. I lost 13 pounds. I see better. I have clarity of thought. Living waters feels like coming home. I love that one. I love this place. It feels so good just to be here. I had no idea this would help me clear some of my old emotional blocks, but also for the first time at age 63, I feel a connection to God. This was amazing. And this one here, living waters is the happiest place on earth. More testimony is my liver was at 40% function prior to the cleanse. 2 weeks later, my count is down 17 points. My doctor was shocked. I'm off all pain medications. We see that routinely. I couldn't lift my left arm before the cleanse. Within 5 days, I had full range of motion. I spent $200 to $400 a week for 4 years taking supplements to get rid of parasites. While here, I cleared out buckets. If only I had known. I had migraine headache 24 hours a day for a month. Doctors wanted to put a shunt in my brain. I decided to see if cleansing could help me instead. I haven't had a migraine in 3 years. When I completed the 10-day cleanse, my eyes were brighter. I had a healthy glow and a new bounce in my step. I'm excited to implement all the things I've learned into my new life. Thank you. What you have given me is invaluable as I feel a 10-day cleanse saved my life. I will continue with the liver cleansing and allowing myself to change. Thank you. I came to Living Waters to do one colonic. After one colonic, I decided to do the 10-day cleanse. Wow, am I glad I did. Before the cleanse, I had suffered from headaches, IBS, and weight gain. I couldn't believe all the stuff that was pouring out of my body. After I saw all the parasites and yeast come out of me, it was like, whoa. Since that cleanse, I have lost 13 pounds. My eyesight has improved. By the way, we see this happen a lot, the eyesight improving. My vibration and attitude has changed, and I feel great. I am grateful for the tools I have learned to help me cope with emotional triggers that cause me to stray and eat foods that do not serve me well. Now, what's amazing about Ms. Mary is Mary got so excited about this, she went and became a colon hydrotherapist herself after doing the 10-day. So here's just some very severe issues I want to share with you. And these guys, by doing the 10-day process, will heal this over time. Here's nail fungus. We see this a lot. The only way you can get rid of fungus in your body, yeast, candida, this is just the outward symptoms, and you've got to do the internal physical work. Heal that microbiome system, kill off that candida fungus, and get rid of the heavy metals that's creating the candida to begin with. So we see these clear up. Scaly, itchy scalp clears up. Look at this guy. It's amazing what happens. Okay, my feet used to look like this guy. It's not my feet. My feet were like this. I had severe fungus, but yet they cleared up after doing the deep tissue work. Here's a guy with liver issues, and he spent about 30 days doing a deep tissue detox. Lost 28 pounds. And here's my father-in-law. Was told over 10 years ago he had 4 months to live with cancer, had prostate cancer and liver cancer, and so he was looking for a way, and he did the 10-day, and guess what? He lived over another 10 years beyond what he was supposed to live, and did not die from cancer. He did not die from cancer. And here are 2 lovely people, including myself, my mother and father. Now, Dad was told 8 years ago that he'd be dead within 2 years. His PSA number was at 38. They told him it's fast-acting cancer. My mother had severe allergies, and they did their first 10-day, and my mother's allergies all but disappeared. I'd say probably 85–90% gone. So my dad, they got pretty feared up about this cancer thing, but he kept cleansing, and he's done over 6 10-day cleanses now. He's 84 years of age, and he's on no medications. I think it's pretty amazing. None of them on medication. They're fully active. They can do anything a 50-year-old can do, and probably more than a lot of 50-year-olds can do. This young gentleman came here, was not going to do this. He came here, actually someone locked him in the car and brought him here. He was 316 pounds a day. He walked in the door and scoffed at doing any kind of colon cleansing. His beard hung down to his belly button. Amazingly enough, he agreed to start with 3 colonic sessions to see if it was okay. After 3 days, he says, okay, I'm going to try your 10-day. 5 days into it, he cut off his beard, and he said to me, David, emotionally, I was hiding behind my beard. He changed so much in that 10 days that people, friends that he had known for years and years, did not recognize him. And today he's lost, I think, over 100 pounds. He doesn't have the cravings of all the toxic food that he had cravings for before, so he eats. His diabetes went away. That was, 5 days into it, his blood sugars had changed so much, he was just shocked, because he tested his blood sugar multiple times per day. So that's gone. Miss McKinsey came to us with a lot of brain fog. And Miss McKinsey, happiest girl I know, and she came in on day 8, and she looked at me and says, David, I can think clearly. She got accepted to go on mission on her church, and to do that, she had to speak at her church, and she had avoided this for years, so scared to death to speak. And 8 days into her cleanse, she spoke to the audience at her church, and people were shocked at how well she spoke. And they said, "Oh my gosh, I've never heard you speak like this. Where have you been? You need to speak more." And she came to me and says, "David, I feel like I can think." And she had so many parasites. The parasites were literally causing her brain to not think clearly, and the toxicity. This young lady was referred to us by her husband, drinking 100 ounces of soda per day to try to stay awake. A mom of two, had no energy, and got through the 10-day cleanse and got her energy back, got her mojo back, because that twisted, distorted colon went away, and we got all the old junk out and healed that colon up. So that's improved her life tremendously. And this young lady came to us with a lot of stuff going on. And the thing that she said to me that she got out of this was the emotional. She'd had some things in her life that had, as all of us do, things happen. A lot of emotional stuff that went on prior to this. And so she wanted to clear that. And she did. She said it was like someone had picked up a big old garbage bag and hauled it out the door and dumped it out. And really changed her life significantly. And this lady came in here, was told not to come here. She drug her foot coming in here. She'd already had 3 of her vertebrae in her back fused. And at the end, she was twisting and dancing and jumping around and no pain. Could squeeze her hands together. And again, she was told not to come here, that we put bad things in her head. She says, "You know what? I'm glad you put the good things in my head," because she learned new ways of looking at things and letting go emotionally. And this, my friends, was an amazing miracle. Miss Nicole came to us. She was basically told that she would be an invalid the rest of her life at age 22. She was in her last semester of college. All of a sudden started getting migraines 24 hours a day. If she raised up in bed to sit up, she would black out for 5 minutes. Couldn't look at a computer screen or a TV screen. It would cause her all manner of pain. Severe vertigo. And here she is, last semester of college, can't look at a computer screen. She's told, "We're going to have to put a shunt in your brain." Well, first they actually took fluid off of her brain. Did a spinal tap. That's what they did first. And before they did the shunt, I says, "Well, what if this worked? What if this worked? Why don't we try this first and see if there's success? Because you can always do the other." So she agreed, and we spent 19 days. And by that time, it was February 2nd, she went back to college and was able to look at screens, and she hasn't had migraines left. This is a girl who was told she could not leave town. She had to manage her meds. She could not leave Boise, Idaho for the rest of her life. And she does whatever she wants now. This gal came to us with severe vertigo and sarcoidosis. 5 days. She couldn't squeeze her hands to squeeze a remote. I mean, it hurt for her to do that. To look at a computer screen, she'd cover one eye. It was amazing. 5 days into it, she's off her medications, no pain. She could squeeze her hands. Her liver function was very, very poor. And she kept coming back and doing the follow-up cleanses. And 6 months later, her liver function was down to, I think, 20 or 30%. I can't remember now. But 6 months later, it was at full function, per her doctor. Pretty story. This gal came to us with Crohn's and Lyme's and colitis, were her labels that were given to her. Constant diarrhea for 4 years. 5'6" and was down to 87 pounds and was a slight pale blue-green. This is immediately after the 10 days. She has changed so much in just the 10 days here. Anyway, so she went through the process, and she was told not to. She had done enzyme therapy. She had done, well, first of all, she did all the medical stuff, took all the medications. That didn't work. Did enzyme therapy, acupuncture for a year. You name it, this gal had done it. Walked in here, and I said, "Let's do a 10-day cleanse." So she did, and a year later, 10 months later, she was fully healed, could actually exercise. I remember the morning she came in and said, "David, I did jumping jacks. David, I slept in all night. Didn't have diarrhea. David, I'm going to go and take a new job." And actually, I'm able to work 8 hours a day now, because when she came to me, she could barely work 2 hours. So tremendous change at 26 years of age to go from 87 pounds to 115 pounds in 10 months, fully functioning and able to work. And then finally, myself, who I mentioned earlier, a lot of issues. I probably would have been dead a long time ago if I not figured this out. But here I am refereeing, doing one of the hobbies I love to do. And I am healthier today than I was in my 30s and 40s. And I feel fantastic. And best shape I've been in my life. I know I haven't been in this shape since high school. So you can restore the body. I'm living proof that you can do it. The question is do you want to spend money on other issues and go this route? Or do you want to go the natural route? You're going to spend money, folks. I mean, these things cost money, even if you have insurance, the deductible, and not only that, but the quality of life that you have to live by doing these things, having the knee replacements, having the heart bypass, taking the chemo. These things are expensive, and we know that if you come and try this, you have the ability to possibly prevent these issues. So, what if is what I always ask. What if this works? It's very, very, very expensive. And problem is it going, not taking care of yourself. 50% of all bankruptcies are medical related. We spend 157 to $215 billion a year on long-term care. Do you want to be in a long-term care home? My parents have said, David, we would be spending twice as much per month in an assisted living facility. Why don't we come down once a year and spend that money on a 10-day cleanse and stay healthy? Yeah, why not indeed? So, how long does it take to cleanse the body? I can't answer that for you. We want to be nice and new, like the new house on the left or the new body on the left versus on the right. So, I don't know how long it's going to take to clean out your body. We know we need to do at least 10 days. In 10 days, so many miracles happen. You can go look at our YouTube videos. We've got hundreds over there of people who have amazing miracles. And people commonly want to ask, well, will it help this? Will it help that? Look, we apply the 4 natural laws. If you apply the 4 natural laws and get your body back to homeostasis, restore the gut microbiome, get your body so it can send the parts to the cells, amazing things can happen over time. So that is what you want to do. You want to get this toxicity out. This makes sense to you. Then what you want to do in the next few minutes is go and fill out the application or call us directly. You want to or schedule a time to either talk on the phone or come into the facility and see if deep tissue cleansing is right for you and if you are right for us. Request the free consult, see if you qualify. We need to have a conversation. Here's the numbers. Here's the website if you want to go peruse our website. But as soon as you send us an email link or call us, we'll get someone to schedule a time with you. I'm David DeHaas. Thank you for your attending. I know this can help you tremendously. I look forward to seeing you on the 10-day cleanse. Have a blessed day, everyone.